Yeah.
Welcome back to another edition of Let's Talk with Big Chief and yours truly, Stero Lion. I want to say big respect to all our subscribers, to all our fans, and to those who support the channel. Remember, like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already done so. This week, we're going to be getting into the topic of former Bronco player, Mr.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharpe,
Mm-hmm.
and the sexual
Allegedly.
misconduct allegations he's been accused of. Nasty work, man. You know?
Yes. And yeah, so thank you so much. And who is Shannon Sharp? This is Shannon Sharp, the legendary Bronco football player.
Yes, sir.
Played for 14 years on the Baltimore Raven and Denver Broncos. He won several Super Bowls. He's very popular, right? In Denver and also in Baltimore. How popular is he in Colorado since you live out in Colorado, sir?
He is very, very popular. He has a huge fan base, has lots of supporters.
Mm-hmm.
There are many individuals who are, taking his side in this particular scandal, as far as supporting him and believing his side of the story. But as you
Yeah.
know, there are always three sides to a story: your side, my side, and the truth. So
Yeah.
as the details unfold, it will surely come to light. But it's looking real sticky for him right now. I mean, the
Yeah.
mere fact that he was engaged in illicit affair with a very, very younger woman, his junior, you know, I mean, to me, I mean, is it okay if I give my opinion?
Yes. Go ahead. Sure. I
I,
think our audience would love your opinion, man.
okay, so from a moral standpoint, I think dude is lacking. He's wrong,
Hmm.
albeit the young lady is of age. She
Yes.
is not fully developed mentally
Yeah.
as a 20-year-old.
Hmm.
So he had began engaging her in relations when I believe she was 19,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, with him being 57 years old, when she was born, he was 35.
Just about. Yes.
Now, I don't know about you, but if I had a daughter that was 20 years old, I would not want her mixed up in any degree, to any degree or level, with a man of that age.
Hmm.
That's just me personally.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure many of you feel differently. Me personally, I'm younger than Shannon Sharpe by 7 years.
Yes.
And I would not engage a female of that age in such activity.
Yes.
But every man does his little thing a little way different. So
Yeah. I guess
but
to
that's
each
just
his
my
own.
take. I mean, how do you
Yeah.
feel about it, Chief?
To be honest with you, they have basically nothing in common, in terms of the age group, right? Like when you have that big disparity in age, the music you listen to, the certain things that you like, the way how you carry yourself, your lifestyle is totally different
The way
from a
you
20
think.
now. Yeah, and now it says she's 22 years old and he's 57. What do they have in common except for maybe their sexual escapade that allegedly that when they met up, they were doing or undergoing at that time, right? Um, he's way, to be honest with you, he's way too old for her, and it's
Let me ask
alleged
you
that.
this.
Hmm.
Stick up in. If you had a daughter that was 20 years old
Yes.
and I, as your brethren, was around your daughter
Hmm.
and looking at her in such a fashion, would you be okay with that?
No, because number one, I know you personally, and it will be very icky and sleazy to me knowing that I know you for so many years and you're looking at my daughter that way.
Okay,
And
let's take it a step further.
huh?
If you didn't know me, how would you feel?
Like I said, to each his own. Me personally, I don't like it, and I wouldn't do that. Me personally, I don't like young girls. But who am I to say that he's wrong in what he's doing, right?
Hey, he
I
can
could
do what he
form my, I could
wants.
form I could form my own opinion, but
Of
it wouldn't
course,
matter to either one of them, right?
of
But
course, we
me
all have our
personally, that's
opinion.
not my lifestyle. I don't like it, right? And the thing
Likewise.
here is that people they're bashing Shannon, but just flip the script. Whenever any woman do that, they pick up a young guy. Um, Individuals say, "Well, she's getting her groove back." Right?
I
And they're like
mean,
championing, like, yeah, she's getting her groove back. But when it comes to the guy, it's like he's a dirty old sleazy man, right?
that's that double standard in the world
Yes.
that we live in. That
Hmm.
does not necessarily mean that it's right. I mean,
Correct.
if a 57-year-old woman was
Hmm.
doing the same thing to a 22 year
Hmm.
old man, I feel the exact same way.
Yes.
Because once again, that 22-year-old man's mind is not mature enough and developed enough to be able to, you understand what I'm saying, be
Yeah,
in
it's
a
not.
situation.
The brain is even the skull it hasn't been fused as of yet, right?
So it's just sticky all around, man.
Hmm.
And for her to be suing him and coming after him with the same lawyer allegedly
Yeah.
that came after a
Hmm.
well-known rap mogul.
And that's Tony
Uh,
Busby, the attorney.
yes,
Hmm.
that just is in and of itself is just nasty work.
And a matter of fact, Shannon Sharpe was slated to. He was negotiating $100 million contract with his podcast. His very, very, very popular podcast, Club Shay Shay.
Okay.
And now this has thrown a monkey wrench within the mix,
He's
right?
also stepped down from his
ESPN,
duties at ESPN. Yep.
yes, for personal reasons, as he stated in the press release. Yeah, so with that contract, he was about to negotiate. Well, he was negotiating to sign. That's like thrown in the back burner, whatever it is, in the background, no longer at this time until he addressed this issue. Now, mind you, it's alleged that he met this young lady uh, on OnlyFans.
Okay.
She's a big star on OnlyFans. We will not name her name. And she, according to the complaint, she's well, her attorney said that Mr. Sharp became increasingly verbally abusive to her, right? And he became very controlling and very violent over time, and once even threatening to kill her. And he also was alleged to recording a sexual encounter that they had without her consent.
Which he is refusing to watch subsequently.
That she refused to watch those.
Yes, he refused to
Alleged.
watch that. Yes,
Okay,
allegedly.
allegedly.
So
Okay.
and also she had tried to settle with him out of court
Well, he
where
offered, from what it's alleged, that he offered her $10 million. That's a lot of money, $10 million.
she
But
could have just took the bag and but she obviously stands to gain more with this litigious attitude that hey, it's all about the bag, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and
I'm not mad at
especially
her.
he was about to get that $100 million contract for his podcast. Now, Why didn't they let the podcast deal go through, and then they addressed it, above and beyond the $10 million offer?
I mean, at the end of
That
the
would
day,
have been much wiser.
it's all politics, bro. You know.
Yes.
I mean, in that world, these people have handlers, as I'm sure he does. I'm sure this young lady does, and usually your handlers are giving you advice that's in your best interests.
Yes.
If they care for you and love you and are really down for you, as
Hmm.
opposed to just being sycophants and yes men and women just trying to get a quick buck.
Yeah. So what do you think of the attorney, Tony Busby? Uh, Individuals are saying, well, it appears that Busby keep on going after black celebrities, um, in addition to like rappers, and the list goes on and on. But what about those like Hollywood executives, those big wigs in Hollywood, uh, the powerful elite? Why isn't they him? Why isn't he going after those individuals in Hollywood, and he's just focusing on the black uh, entertainment class
I
or
mean,
sports class?
to, not for nothing, he probably played golf with those guys.
Never thought about that.
I mean, I'm just saying, you never know. He quite
Yeah.
possibly could be, he could not
Hmm.
be. But it
Yeah.
does seem to be a trend as far as him, targeting and going after, you know, individuals of the African American community who are
Yeah.
affluent in the
Hmm.
entertainment industry. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we'll see how this one unfolds.
Well, you know that he had went after Jay Z and P Diddy, but
Hmm.
the case for P Diddy and Jay Z got thrown out
Yep.
because Jay Z wanted the judge. He made a determination for the young lady to name her name, and I guess she didn't want to go through that, and the case was
Hey,
dropped.
you
And she
know,
signed an agreement with Busby that they would never rehash that case again. And then, lo and behold, this new case now with Shannon Sharpe, it just came out of nowhere, right? Um, and it's like, who's next,
I
right? A
mean,
lot, a lot of people probably scared, like, yo, if they have any issues with any females that occurred in the past, they might be thinking right now, like, oh my God, will my name come up? Is Mr. Busby, does he have me in the crosshair?
black men have been of status have been vilified and calumniated from the beginning of time, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure they'll continue to be henceforth. I
Yes.
mean, at the end of the day, they have to make sure that their sexual deviancy and malfeasance is kept under wraps and not recorded. And we saw what happened to R. Kelly.
Yes.
You know,
Very much so.
I
Very
mean,
much
it's
so.
like it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Yes.
So moving forward, we're just gonna have to be smarter, and be a bit more sagacious and make better, more intelligent decisions. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because it's just one of them things, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the
Now, mind you, remember, did you see the episode that he had Monique, the comedian, on the show?
I did not see it, but I heard that she
And
had warned
yes,
him.
she warned him. She told him, "Listen, stay away from the young girls, man. You need to get yourself an old big mama."
I mean, as
She
much
gonna
as
cook you
much.
some turkey, some turkey neck bones and all that stuff. She gonna feed you. She gonna rub your feet down and everything like that. Stay away from young girls. Young girls is trouble.
I mean, as much money as he's got, he could probably have any female he wants. So he obviously has a type that he
Yes.
goes for.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
and and
He
and
does have a type. It
and
appears that he favors young white girls.
hey man, to each his own, my brother.
Yeah.
You
To
know.
each his own. He has a type. I just think that based on who he is, um, being in the spotlight, being like a gladiator in the sports arena for many
Mm-hmm.
years. He's seen what happened with the rappers and entertainers and all that stuff. I thought he would have been a little bit more careful,
Mm-hmm.
especially him being on TV on a daily basis on ESPN
Right.
and so forth. He would have been a little bit more mindful, and in addition, not to record certain things
Mm-hmm.
because the recording, man, if it is so, and he recorded without her knowledge and all that stuff, allegedly, um, he's gonna have to come out of his pockets.
Hey man, you know, I'll say this: the most conscious or the most valuable math, right, that you
Hmm.
can learn is the future cost of
Yes.
conscious decisions you
Hmm.
make today. I'll say that again. The most
Hmm.
valuable math you can learn is the future cost of conscious decisions you'll make today.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I'm sure Mr. Sharp is sitting down right now as we speak, ruminating on the future cost of decisions he'd made in the previous days.
Yes.
You
And
know?
like I said, he had to definitely go forward, set up certain firewalls. The do's and don'ts. Who is his handlers? I know that he's his own man, right?
Yeah.
And it's not all the time your handler is going to be around you and your assistant to steer, to whisper in your ears and say, hey, don't do that, advise him and so forth. So I don't know, man.
And
I,
he could be getting that and just
yes,
disregarding the information because at the
yes,
end of the day he is his own man. He has money, he has
yes.
power, he has an
Hmm.
audience, he has a fan base, he has supporters. So who's to say that he's taking heed to, when that game is being spit to him by his people?
That's true, and on top of it too, if he's cutting the checks, it's not probably much the individual is going to tell you in terms of a no, right? Don't do it because they don't want to offend him or
That check
he
to not
have
be
a fear
cut.
that the check won't be cut for
You know what I mean?
the paycheck.
They want that continuous bag coming, coming, coming.
Yeah, you just keep your mouth shut and turn your head.
So it'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds. We've yet to
Hmm.
hear from the young lady come out and speak publicly, so that'll be
Yes,
also interesting to hear. I
yeah,
mean,
they have all her picture all over the internet. And they have dug up a lot of stuff on her about her OnlyFans and who she dated, and she's a gold digger, and the list goes on and on and on. You know how it is. You're
she
gonna
had to
have
she had to expect that backlash when
most definitely.
she decided to
Shannon
go
Sharpe has
serious
his fans.
course.
I mean, he has his individuals that is gonna stick by him, even if they see him over a body, with a smoking gun. They're going to say, "Oh no," they're going to stick by him, and that's how it is in general when it comes to celebrities and all that stuff. No matter what, the fans, no matter what they do, if it's bad, the celebrities, the fans are going to stick by them, right?
Yes, sir.
And say, "Oh, he didn't mean it or she didn't mean it," and give he or she another chance, and he was he in the right, he was in the right mood, or there's a lot of things going on in his life at the time, hence the reason why he did this and all that. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But we're definitely gonna update you, you guys. with the what's happening with this case, and we'll be able to do another updates to you, with you guys.
So until then, we'll see you next time. Continue to like, share, and subscribe the content. We love you guys. Thank you for the support. Big Chief, Stero, peace.
Peace out.